Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, I'm in the courtroom today with my client's mother, Nicole Barrow, his brother, Uncle Gino's in the courtroom, as well as Gino Jr., as well as Raymond Spears.
Okay, you just gave me three. I have no idea who that Gino
is. So Reno. And Raymond Spears is his old football coach. They're all here in support of young Mr. Smith. Your Honor, we were here last Thursday and it was a PCC, Your Honor, requested, asked the people requested to amend the bond and change it from a PR bond. We discussed it a little bit, and then Your Honor asked Mr. Smith whether he had been using marijuana, and he honestly said that he was, and Your Honor revoked his bond. We're here today.
Well, it was kind of like that. I asked him, would he pass a drug test?
Correct. Thank you, Judge. To remind the court, this is young Mr. Smith's first criminal charges lifetime. He has a perfect record at school. He was on his way to 4.0 grades until last semester when his grades declined. It is no coincidence that he has now, that's when his problems with the law began. He was not attending his duties at school. He was sort of hanging out with the wrong crowd, not to justify or offer an excuse, but here we are today. It was charged originally, this case that is in front of us was charged in juvenile court. He spent 4 days in custody. After that, he was released from custody. We went in front of the juvenile court judge and the case was dismissed, and then he was charged in adult court. The charges are very serious. I can approach and we can discuss a little bit about the biggest charge if Your Honor would like to hear. I believe he has there are compelling defenses to that. The short of it is we're seeking to have him placed back on his house arrest tether, so he can go to school, so he can go to church, so he can do the right thing and be around his family and have the support of his family and handle these cases on all fours. He is presumed innocent. This is a good young man. I have faith in this young man, and I'm here for the duration.
Anything from the people?
Your Honor, people already stated their position on Thursday. The only thing that I have to add from that previous argument is that I do have some concerns being released under the same or similar conditions as before of the GPS tether with allowances for church and school. I believe the defendant stated at the last hearing that he got the marijuana from school, and so I'm concerned about releasing him and then putting him back in the same environment where he got the marijuana that led to this violation in the first place. Thank you.
I would just suggest the court may, if Your Honor was inclined to reconsider, may institute a testing regimen. Would be something this young man should be responsible to and could handle.
Well, and I appreciate what the people are saying. The other issue in this one that's plagued me since I put him in, and those of you that know me know that it would, and that is that if he stays incarcerated, maybe that might be the right decision for most. What I then know is he doesn't graduate. And then at the end of it all, I don't know what we have. That's the bottom line to it.
The hearing begins in the case of Michigan versus Red Council. The prosecutor tells the judge that some witnesses who already testified joined a live stream room where the court proceedings were being shown. The defense says they believed witnesses were supposed to stay separated. The judge immediately pushes back and explains that no order was made to completely separate all witnesses. The judge says the only rule was that witnesses who already testified could not discuss testimony with witnesses who had not testified yet. When the defense suggests testimony could be affected, the judge warns them not to make accusations without proof.
Young man, what? So when you spent the 4 days before, that was in a juvenile facility?
No, it was here in a holding cell.
They didn't, for some reason, they weren't able to hold him in the juvenile facility, Judge.
So what have you been thinking about?
Like recently.
Well, you got locked up on Thursday. Now, unless your mind shut down, what have you been thinking
I've been thinking about first how right you were, and that I did learn my lesson, and that my actions do have consequences, and then this is a very serious matter, and that I do not want to be here, and not, it's more like this place shows me that I'm not supposed to be here, and that like
What you were telling me earlier today.
and that I've been thinking about, going to school. I've been thinking about graduating to go to college. I've been thinking about my relationship with God, and that how I can become a better person, and that sorry, Your Honor. And pretty much like how I can improve myself as a better person. And that's what I've been practicing while I've been there. And so I can, when I'm out, I can become a better person, show you not with just my words, but with my actions.
Why are your grades slipping?
Well,
Because see, here's the thing. If I were to reinstate your bond, put you back out there, problem's going to be is that if you're failing out of school, my major motivation for even giving you that opportunity isn't there.
On your grades.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah. So, ever since I've been out, my grades has been improving. I have screenshots to prove that I have A+ right now. My lowest grade right now is a C. I believe a C.
In what?
A C in 1 second, Your Honor. I'm trying to think. I have an A+ in accounting too. A C in newspaper. It's a newspaper entertainment. I had to miss an assignment that I haven't turned in.
The prosecutor explains that all victims and family members were placed together in a jury room because there were many people involved in the case. They were instructed not to discuss testimony. The judge orders a short recess and tells the prosecutor to personally ask the witnesses whether they spoke about testimony with anyone still waiting to testify. After checking, the prosecutor reports that the witnesses denied discussing testimony. The judge then explains the courtroom setup in detail, saying the witness waiting area was completely separate from the live stream courtroom. The judge criticizes the defense for making claims without evidence and tells them not to waste the court's time with unsupported accusations.
What should your grades be?
All A+, Your Honor. Or at least passing. Or not at least passing, but A's and B's. But I'm shooting for all A's.
Then you shouldn't even be thinking, there shouldn't even be a C on any. Mom, anything you want to say?
Please step up.
You'll have to stay right there.
No.
Thank you. I have time that's up in counseling, for ThriveWorks in Ann Arbor for not just him, but for family. Also, I looked into him being into a mentorship program. Along with his football coach, started a program called Pathways Careers to Careers. And he said he'd be willing to mentor him along with his older brother who's starting U of M in the fall for software engineering, and his uncle. I got them in their lives, and then now I have more time off from work to be able to, they understand what's going on, to be able to keep him on the right track. And that's my goal. If I gotta monitor him, take him to school, be there. I got engaged with the teachers. They just assumed that he had been ill, so they've been allowing him to make up the work. His grades have come back up. They're all missing him. He's well liked in his whole school, principal, everybody. They've known him since elementary. When we came up here, he was in the 5th grade.
The court then moves to the case of Michigan versus Caleb Ricardo Smith. The judge explains that Smith's bond had been revoked after he admitted using marijuana while on release. Defense counsel asks the court to reconsider and place him back on house arrest so he can attend school, church, and stay with family support. The attorney says Smith has no prior criminal record, was previously a strong student, and had only recently started getting into trouble. The prosecutor objects, arguing that Smith admitted he got marijuana from school, so returning him to the same environment is concerning. The judge says the biggest issue is that if Smith remains jailed, he may not graduate from school.
And make sure that he's no contact with any of the kids that were grown.
Pardon?
The other kids that he's grown, and I make sure that he's no contact with them now. Taking his phone, he doesn't have a new number, and I actually have it linked to my iCloud, so I'm able to view all of his activities through my cell phone.
You're hanging around a bunch of grown men. Maybe,
Yes.
right?
Mhm. It was a mistake.
So when you went to jail, did you feel grown? Because I can there's a whole lot of grown folks back there if that's what you want to be. You know something? Do you remember what I told you about respect on Thursday? Or did your head just shut off at some point?
No, I remember, Your Honor.
What did I tell you?
Tell me respect. It's like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you told me to respect my mother, and that if I can't respect my mother or the court, then that's a problem. And I do remember, Your Honor. And I would like to say that I am like these 4 days, it may seem little, but it was a lot to me. And I really like had time to think about it and on respect and the lengths that my mother is going for me. And the least I can do is to respect her to my full extent.
You know what's funny? I mean, I hear you, and to the extent you can understand it, you understand it, but you're never, until you are one, going to ever understand the sacrifice of a parent. You're just not, you're not going to get it. Because I don't know if you slept while you were there, but she probably hasn't slept the moment I put you back there. You didn't see. I mean, she knows they're serious charges, but you did not see your mother's reaction when I said, and I'll admit I was kind of yelling at you, that you're facing light. And I saw your mother's reaction. Because no matter what it is, no matter what's going on or anything, no matter how stupid you get, you're still her baby. You can't respect her, and I told you this. I will. You need to respect the court orders. You need to respect your mother. You need to respect yourself. But I've been doing this a long time, and I figure somebody that can't respect their mother, probably shouldn't be out there walking around and doing anything. Man, you took time out. What were you talking about? Work.
My health isn't so good. I can't figure out. On a trial study what's going on. My lungs. I don't smoke or anything. They don't know. I've been seeing a pulmonologist, and
so you're just off. So right now you're off of work.
Yes. It's not because of him. It's my health. It's before that.
Yeah, but him doing what he's doing can't help.
But he clearly, I've never had any issues about it. So this is why it's a shocker. All a shock. All of us. We all are shocked.
Your school on a 4-point schedule?
Sorry, I don't.
What's the highest grade point you can get? Is it 4 or 5 or 4?
I think 4.0. 4.0 is the highest you can get.
It is over the objection of the people. I'm not going to put a cash component on it at this point. I'm going to reinstate his previous bond with conditions that I'm going to.
The judge questions Smith directly about what he learned during the 4 days he spent in custody. Smith says he realized his actions have consequences, wants to improve himself, focus on school, and strengthen his relationship with God. The judge asks about his grades and warns that poor academic performance would remove the court's reason for giving him another chance. Smith's mother tells the court she arranged counseling, mentorship programs, and strict monitoring at home. The judge gives an emotional lecture about respecting parents and understanding a mother's sacrifices. In the end, despite the prosecutor's objection, the judge reinstates Smith's previous bond with strict conditions: drug testing 3 times a week and maintaining at least a 3.5 GPA. The judge warns that any violation will send him straight back to jail.
You are to test 3 times per week. Anything show up in your system, young man, you're going back. I'm not having a bond here. I'm just going to revoke. You are also to work your way. I want to see a 3.5 grade point average or above. Hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if this case is still before me and as you approach graduation and you're not near that 3.5, you know where you're going to go? Right back. Because what that just tells me is you're not applying yourself. Is there anything you're unclear about?
No,
You understand very clearly, I hope, that this is not a game.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right. To the extent you think it's a game, you don't want to play that with me. We clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probable cause conference, March 6th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, folks.